RAB has arrested UP Chairman Mahmudul Alam Babu, the main accused in the murder of journalist Nadim in Jamalpur's Bakshi-Ganj. In the morning, he was arrested from Chor Tistapara of Chilahati Union of Debiganj Upazila of Panchagor. Earlier, he has been temporarily expelled from the post of General Secretary of Shadhurpara Union Awami League. Union Awami League informed this information in a circular on Friday night. Although no case has yet been registered in the murder of journalist Nadim, the police have arrested 10 people. Earlier on Wednesday night, journalist Golam Rabbani Nadim was attacked in Pathati area of Bakshi-Ganj Bazar in Jamalpur. He died while undergoing treatment on Thursday due to severe head injuries. Demonstrations and human change have taken place in various districts demanding the arrest of the killers and exemplary punishment. Bangladesh have thrashed Afghanistan by 546 runs in the fourth day of their one-off test of secure the format's biggest victory margin by runs in nearly 90 years at the Shere-Bangla National Cricket Stadium on today. Chasing a mammoth 661 runs, Afghanistan, who started the fourth day on 45 for 2, could add only 70 runs to their overnight total as the Bangladesh Pacers turned up the heat. Bangladesh out Afghanistan for 115 runs in the first session on day 4 of the only test to take the match by a record 546 runs. Taskin Ahmed scalped 4 wickets while Shariful Islam picked up 3. The margin of victory by runs in the third largest in the history of tests and the biggest in the last 90 years in the format. Only 3 days left for Sylhet and Rajshahi City Corporation elections. Awami League candidate Anwaruzzaman Chaudhry will announce the Sylhet City Corporation election manifesto today. In the last-minute campaign, the candidates are also making various promises to deal with the disaster. On the other hand, there is no participation of BNP in Rajshahi. The Islamic Andolan has announced the boycott in the middle. Therefore, there is concern about the presence of voters in the Rajshahi city elections. Natural calamities like waterlogging, floods and earthquakes have become the major topic of discussion in Sylhet City Corporation elections. In the last-minute campaign, the candidates are also making various promises to deal with the disaster. Despite the rain hampering the campaign, Awami League has kept the polls ground busy. Sylhet was shaken by an earthquake in the midst of rain since Friday morning, where the epicenter of the quake was also in Sylhet. In such a situation, people got scared. City dwellers live with one disaster after another. In these circumstances, while seeking votes, the candidates are giving their action plan to deal with the disaster. However, the central leaders of Awami League have kept the presence of the polling ground. Meanwhile, along with fair, free and impartial elections, voters are calling for a citizen-friendly Sylhet. 14,000 advance railway tickets for the western region were sold out ahead of Eid-ul-Azha on 4th day. Ticket purchase on railway apps starts from 8 a.m. The sale of train tickets for June 27 was sold out within an hour of its opening, the railway authority said. After repeatedly entering online and failing to get a ticket, passengers are returning home with empty hand. Ticket aspirants complained of how thousands of tickets were sold out within a minute. Meanwhile, ticket sales for the eastern region will begin at 12 noon. These tickets are available from Dhaka Cantonment, Airport and Joydepur station. Only tickets without seats can be purchased from the station counters on the day of departure. Last year, Sunamganj experienced the worst flood in its 122-year history. It has been a year today. This year, water again is entering to a total of 134 hours of Sunamganj due to a heavy rains and upstream flows. As a result, river water is also increasing gradually. The lower areas of the district are in danger of being flooded this time as well. People of the areas are already have got panicked due to the upcoming flood. However, authority says although there is no major flood threat this year, all preparations have been made. The water level of Sunamganj River has increased due to continuous rains and hill slopes at the beginning of monsoon. Surma, Jadukata, Patlai Khasiamara rivers are overflowing and entering to canals and haors. The border areas of Sunamganj Shodor, Tahirpur, Tuara Bazar and Bishwabhambarpur are at risk of being flooded. Floods are forecast in Sunamganj if there is heavy rain for a few more days. Sunamganj has received heavy rains and water from upstreams is entering through border rivers. But today the water of Surma river has decreased by 3 centimeters compared to yesterday. At 6 p.m. yesterday, the water level of Surma river was 668 centimeter. Today at 6 a.m., it decreased by 3 centimeter to 665 centimeter. Now the water of Surma river is flowing below the danger level by 115 centimeter. Executive Engineer of the Development Board, Mamun Hauladar, said that the heavy rains and water from the hills are entering. However, that is why the water has decreased by 3 centimeters from yesterday to today. However, there is a possibility of rain all day today. Due to heavy rains, the water level of the rivers is increasing in the northeastern part of the country. If this situation continues, there is a risk of flood in the lower areas of Sunamganj and Sylhet in the next 72 hours. However, residents are in fear. They want quick precautionary measures to avoid disasters like last year's floods. After the intense heat wave, rains have been pouring for several days in the northeastern and northern parts of the country under the influence of monsoon. On the first day of Bengali month Ashar, Sylhet received the country's highest rainfall of 221 millimeter. Meanwhile, our residents of Sunamganj are in panic, remembering the horror of the last flood. Meanwhile, the meteorological department said light to moderate rain or thunder with gusty winds may occur temporarily in different parts of the country, including Sylhet division. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has returned home from Geneva, Switzerland after attending World of Work Summit Social Justice for All held on June 14 to 15. A flight of Biman Bangladesh Airlines carrying the Prime Minister and her entourage members landed at Hazrat Shahjalal International Airport in Dhaka at 1:55 a.m. The Prime Minister exchanged pleasantries with the passengers in the flight and inquired about their well-being. The flight earlier departed Geneva International Airport at 11:50 a.m. Geneva time. Earlier on June 13, the Premier arrived in Geneva on a 4-day official visit to Switzerland. On June 14, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees UNHCR Chief Filippo Grandi called on the Prime Minister at her place of residence. On June 15, she joined a talk at the WEF, followed by a meeting with founder of WEF Professor Klaus Schwab at WEF office. At there, she addressed at the event on New Economy and Society in Smart Bangladesh, organized by the World Economic Forum. In addition to the usual symptoms, dengue patients are also being diagnosed with mild fever or diarrhea. Due to lack of awareness, many are going to the hospital after their condition gets complicated. Doctors said it has become difficult to give them proper treatment. Unexpected death due to dengue can be avoided by taking timely medical advice. Compared to the last few years, dengue in the country is higher than May-June this year. Dengue usually gets identified with various symptoms including high fever, headache and body ache. But this time mild fever, diarrhea, symptoms of dengue are also appearing. Patients are going to hospitals after the condition becomes complicated. As the patients are not kept under mosquito net, several members of family are being affected by dengue. Doctors advise dengue sufferers to eat enough liquid food. No bribery, lobbying or nepotism. Police sergeant posts are being appointed on the basis of merit by applying with a government fee of only Taka 590. Recently, a total of 778 such candidates have been initially recommended by the police headquarters. Officials say maximum transparency has been ensured in recruitment. Joy Chakraborty, A life of uncertainty began with the loss of his father before the end of his academic career. He was worried whether they would be able to finish his studies or not. Joy has now been recommended for appointment to the post of police surgeon. Along with Joy, 778 is being recommended for appointment as surgeons who did not have to spend a single penny out of government fees. The police headquarters is talking about ensuring 100% transparency in recruitment earlier. For the past few years, the policemen have been appointed by the completing of the application process and passing various tests at a cost of only Taka 120.